The past 9 months have been pretty significant in terms of my career. I've grown a lot personally as well as in my skills as a videographer and photographer. I've made new friends in this massive camera community, I've assisted on my first wedding, and I've produced some of my best content to date. What's crazy is the fact that I never wanted to do anything in this field. Growing up, cameras, photography, videography, none of it really interested me. My parents had this little camcorder and would film my siblings and I for these little home movies, but honestly, I thought nothing of it. I was always a science kid. Figured that I'd be doing something in the life sciences, animal conservation, that sort of thing. But here we are, 22 years old, and I now know that I want to pursue videography and photography. I thought to myself, what is the best way to show off my career thus far? And there was really only one answer: to go back to where it all began. So I recruited a few of my friends to go up for a weekend to help me film and document. We packed our bags, and just like that, we were off to where it all began, Acadia National Park.
So this bag is pretty much completely filled. Look at that. This bag too. We also bring the Ronin and tripod. Just bringing everything.
When I first started, I never even thought about filming video. By owning a camera, I just associated that with photography. So that's all I did, until I discovered my passion for filmmaking. My friend Alex once told me,
I feel photography is important because it allows you to recreate those memories. But video not only allows you to recreate those memories you had the day, but relive the emotions and the feelings.
and that really resonated with me. When he first told me that, I was only a few weeks into a daily vlog series on my YouTube channel, and I thought, oh my God, that literally describes perfectly the mentality that I had about daily vlogging. Like, no one really cared to see what I was doing every single day, but I wanted to film it for myself, almost like a modern day version of a home movie. I wanted them for the memories to look back on one day. 3 years ago, I went to Acadia, and that was my first real photo-oriented trip, a full weekend dedicated to photography, and it was life-changing. It was during that trip where I experienced something that I've never felt before. The only way I can really describe it is a feeling of pure excitement, happiness, like whatever positive emotions you want to use to describe it. But either way, having that feeling made me realize that this photography, videography, like life with a camera in my hand is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Nick asked me about this trip, I don't know, a few months ago.
He kind of told me about this plan he had to make a documentary.
He was like, hey, you want to come on this trip? I'm planning on making this documentary with how I started filmmaking. We're going to go up to Acadia National Park for the weekend. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
And so when I heard that, it definitely inspired me, and I wanted to be a part of that team, and I wanted to be a big role in helping, support this film and making it come true.
When Nick asked me to go on this trip, he was asking if we also wanted to film this travel video project. Now, me and Nick had also worked on a travel video for Rhode Island that we did back in the summer. And we were trying to do something kind of similar for Acadia.
Something about these high production shoots was really something special, so I knew I wanted to work on something new. So I figured for a documentary, I could kind of go back to where it all began, and if I could bring some of my friends to help me film, I think that would be ideal.
We're checking in.
That shoe's better for you.
So the first day, basically, we were planning on doing the star photography and the star time lapses on the Saturday morning when we first got there. We arrived Friday night and we were gonna sleep briefly at the motel, and then we were gonna wake up super early and go to the sunrise location and try to get star photos. But because of the weather, we did not end up doing that. So we switched that to Sunday morning, and we ended up just going to the same location. So that was Jordan Pond for the morning of Saturday, and we got some horrible weather, but we still got some good content. So that was totally worth it.
Did not sleep very well. It's 4:30. I'm sure we're not really gonna get a sunrise, so like kind of awake for no reason, but you know, it's whatever. I don't even know what kind of coffee this is, but probably gonna have it.
It looks decent.
Not really. If it comes in like a freaking little single serve package, it's probably not gonna be that good. Okay, so as you know, the coffee in the hotel room this morning was pretty shitty, but luckily I brought an AeroPress. I've never used a jet boil before, but we're gonna figure it out as we go.
Yeah, you have to light it as soon as you turn the gas on so it doesn't, like, you don't let too much gas out.
It's like literally my second time making AeroPress coffee, and it's out in nature.
Damn, it's pretty good.
It's like 8:30. We've been up for a while, haven't eaten anything, but all I need is coffee. We're good. Yeah, so 3 years ago, Mitchell and I came here, and this Jordan Pond was the first location that we came to in the morning. And so it's like almost a surreal feeling to be back here. And honestly, the fact that it's not a perfect sunrise is also very like nostalgic, because on that day it was not a good sunrise either. It was pretty cloudy, but this is like zero sunrise, but it's fine. I'm not really here for the photos this time. I'm here for just everything else, just soaking it all in. So the fact that there's no sunrise, not a big deal. Heading to, I guess, the spot. It is the spot in Acadia where I realized that photography, videography, just like content creation with a camera is what I wanted to do like for the rest of my life. The first time I was here, like I came to this one random bridge, and of course it was just a stupid little spot, nothing really amazing to look at, but just running around taking photos all day. Like that was the first time I ever did that, and the feeling I had during that day and like after that day, it was literally unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. So we're coming back to just see the bridge again and kind of just soak it in. I hopped out of the car and just walked up to the bridge. At first, I need to kind of just mentally confirm, is this the right place? And I was like, all right, yep, this is definitely it. I knew back those 3 years ago, I was on top of it, and I was walking along top. It's kind of like a castle type bridge. There's like these humps that have like slivers in between, so you can see through these cracks. And I just remember taking a photo up there through the crack, composing the road in my frame, following the yellow line, and I went up there, saw the exact spot I took that photo, and that photo in reality is pretty bad, like I'll admit it, but it was as I was up there taking that photo that in the time I probably thought was amazing, but that was when I experienced that feeling for the first time, and I knew heading back up there, running my hand across that top of the bridge, like knowing exactly where I was kneeling, exactly the crack I was looking through to get the composition. It was surreal. 3 years ago now, on this bridge with my roommate Mitchell, who's also here, he was down on the streets, like photographing whatever, and in the meantime I was just wandering around trying to just scope out the place, and I found up top here that there's these little, I call them like, it's a castle looking bridge, so there's these little cracks, and I took a photo through here, literally looking, oh my god, it literally looks just like this, and I would just line up this little section with the yellow line and then middle of the road, and it was literally right here where I had that feeling of, I don't even know, like this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I knew that it was right here. Going back to Acadia, that bridge in particular was such a surreal moment. For one, it gave me that feeling again, reminding me that this is still what I want to do with my life. It was also really special that the others were there too. This bridge, honestly, in my opinion, is nothing to really awe about. It's just a bridge you drive under, it's on the main road, but like we did 3 years ago, we decided to stop, take some photos, and let them experience what I did. I brought the Polaroid to capture this moment again. Could we have used one of our 8 pro-level camera bodies with us? Sure, and we did, but there's something special about how vintage and real Polaroids look. Plus, it was just really cool for that one shot, so can we cut to that right now? So using the Polaroid, it was like capturing this moment again, but this time it was more tangible. I held that photo in my hand, I could see it instantly, and that was something special.
The Bubble Mountain incident. The one where we got lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was quite the experience.
We were kind of running late to go to North Bubble, so we ended up getting there at like 4:30, and I believe the sun was setting around 5:15, and it was like 50 flights of stairs on this hike, and it was like a mile or two long.
First of all, I thought it was 0.4 miles, but Sam said it was 4 miles, so for like a whole 10 minutes, we were scared shitless.
They told us it was a 4-mile hike, and Alex and I were
You're
like,
a liar.
huh?
You're a liar.
And then we were like, are we seriously not turning around? And then we realized it was only 0.4, so.
I don't know if I'm relieved or like angry, you know?
In our minds, we're like, dude, there's no chance we're making a 4-mile hike in half an hour.
Mitchell ended up, you know, he had to do his thing, so he didn't wait for us.
Let's try and go this way. There's a fork in the path, and we went left, and apparently we were supposed to go right. So we've been out here for like 15-20 minutes looking for him, screaming his name, and he's not around.
We just kind of followed the path to what we thought was right, and we arrived at this peak. And we were like, yeah, this is a pretty cool view, but where's Mitchell? The real question is, where's Mitchell?
Yeah, we lost Mitchell on this hike. Like, we were really slow, and he just really wanted to get up here, so we lost him. We're at the top, but we have literally no idea where he is, so we're just gonna do our own thing, I guess. We walked around, literally shouting his name, called him on our phones. Reception was kind of spotty, so it took a few tries.
Finally got a hold of him, and we're like, hey, where are you? He's like, I'm on the North Peak, where are you guys? And we're like, oh, we're on the South Peak.
Well, what's he saying? He said like he was in the North Shore or something?
North Bubble.
North Bubble.
We're on the South
Bubble. We went all this way, looking for him. We have to go all the way back.
We saw his freaking orange jacket standing out like, I don't even know, a mile away, literally. And
Yeah.
like there's no way we're gonna get to him before the sun goes down. Sun sets in less than 20 minutes. It's gonna take over 20 minutes just to get over there. So I don't know what to do.
We should try, just because he'll come back down the mountain.
I guess we're just gonna try.
We have to get to the fork anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll go for it. We'll see what happens.
And I remember Nick and Alex were like, I'm so tired. Like,
Just want water.
you have water.
Food.
I want water and food. I really want to take a shower.
So we went all the way back to like a point where there's an intersection, maybe, 5 minutes into the hike. So at the very beginning, we went all the way back to the beginning and then climbed up the mountain again until we finally got to the top. And by that point, the sun was already setting, but we made the best of it. We still try to make the most of it.
We were running with this shit on our backs and sweating our asses off. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty annoyed. Got to the top, Alex and I threw our bags down and just laid on these rocks. We're like, nah, like you do not want to film me right now. You really don't want to film me right now. I have nothing to say. Like legit, I have nothing to say.
No words.
I was dripping with sweat. I ran up here. And I was just about to pack up too.
Am I in heaven?
Yeah, you made it. You've made it to heaven.
I'm not gonna say it was a major success, but I guess the fact that I got anything, yeah, I'd call it successful.
The plan from there was, because we didn't get stars the first day, we switched that to the second day. So we woke up super early in the morning on Sunday around like 2 a.m.
And I was dead tired. I almost didn't want to do it, but we went anyway.
So 2 a.m. came, my alarm went off, and it rang once, and I literally like instantly reached over, slammed the button down, silent. I was the only one that heard it. And since I was in the same bed, Alex heard me moving around, so he kind of woke up. I look around, no one was moving. I'm like, I'm pretty sure no one heard the alarm except for me. I waited probably like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I was poking Alex. I was like, hey, Alex, like, are we still going? And he's like, I don't know. I'll do whatever Sam does.
Everybody started getting ready, and I was like, what's happening? I was like half asleep.
And we were freezing our asses off, and what we ended up doing was setting our cameras up, with the little time we had in the cold, and just going back to the car and try to warm up.
I remember thinking, like, oh, I just need to set up my stuff. I just need to set up my stuff and go back to the car. So I just hastily set up my tripod, tried to get some sort of focus going. But it was really cool to try something that I haven't done before, and I feel like that's what this trip was. It was kind of a learning experience for me.
So on the third day, after revisiting the bridge, we ended up going canoeing.
So I've kayaked in the past, but I've never canoed. I always kind of thought kayaking was more fun, but canoeing was more aesthetically pleasing, especially for this video, so we opted for canoes.
We brought all our gear into the water, which is crazy, but we gotta do what we gotta do for the shot.
If we tipped, thousands of dollars worth of stuff would have gone into that pond, but luckily we didn't.
So me and Mitchell were in one canoe, and Nick and Alex were in the other canoe. I was trying to work this gimbal and get focus on the lens. It was difficult to do.
Sam had the gimbal and a 24-70 lens on one canoe, and we tried to coordinate it so that he would pass by our canoe and we would kind of like slightly pass each other and film some shots that way, which worked out. It ended up working out.
On the way back, I made a pretty big mistake. That was to challenge Alex to a competition.
When you challenge me to a competition, don't expect to win. So we raced all the way from, I don't even know how far we went out. We were probably 20 minutes out into the water. The wind pushed us all the way out, and we were actually going back against the wind. So we had a little racing competition, and needless to say, When you challenge me, you don't win.
And all of a sudden, I just feel us moving, and I'm like, oh, are we going? Like, all right, I put the camera down, and I just start rowing, and the whole time, Alex is like low-key talking trash, and I'm like, dude, Sam can't hear you. They're way back there. He's like, yeah, exactly. They're way back there. Let's go.
We destroy them in a race.
Yeah, no, he's like,
Easily.
no one challenges me.
Yeah, you don't challenge me.
Overall, this trip definitely was a success. I had a rough plan of what I wanted to do prior, but I need to realize that things are not going to go according to plan. And this was a prime example. There were some things that went perfectly. There were some that went totally off the rails, but overall, everything did come together. So this feeling does not have to do with photography or videography. Like, that's just what I do. You don't need to do any of that.
You'll know that feeling when you're just doing it just to do it.
For anybody out there, you can feel that feeling at any time. If you're a doctor and you save somebody's life, I'm sure you would feel the exact same feeling there.
This is not something that happens overnight. You just don't magically find what you want to do.
Do what you love and don't pressure yourself to do anything besides that.
Find those little things that make you happy, because when you do something that makes you happy, you're gonna live a better life. You're gonna have a better quality of life.
And once you find that one thing, you just know, because that'll be that thing that you do every day, the thing you do when no one asks you to do it.
And you don't care what other people think. Everyone could be downing on you, saying that you're not gonna make it, like, in whatever field you're in, but as long as you know that that's what you wanna do, just go for it. And eventually along that path, you will find that feeling, and that will drive you to keep going. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter where you're doing it, just as long as you're doing something that you love without question, that is the feeling.
Riding on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. Standing on the dizzying heights. Everything's so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're coming right together. Standing on dizzying heights. Everything's so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're coming right together. Standing on the dizzying heights.